Hi, this is Ron McTube. Today on theAngler, I'm doing a game review. That's right, I'm going to rate it out of 10 and tell you what I think, honestly. Now, I'm going to list all the good points, I'll list the bad points, I'm going to try and do it as honest as possible based on what I've played. So, I've got quite a few hours in the game now. I'm really enjoying it, to be honest. There's some really good things and we'll go over some of that as I fish. Right, let's see if we can get on top of here. Now the reason I want to get on top of here, if you're wondering why I'm trying so hard to do it, is you get better pictures the higher up you are because of the sun and how it lights up the picture basically. If I catch a fish off here, Flinty gave me the tip in Discord and it does seem to work, so that's why I'm trying to get up here. Right, on to what I like best about theAngler. So, I wrote down a few points, I'm going to go over them, discuss them. Open world. This, I think, is the star of theAngler. The fact that you can go anywhere you want and fish, you're not pushed into areas based off whatever, you can go anywhere you want. So I can be fishing in this massive lake here, near where you start, go anywhere I want, but then I can go over the mountain and fish wild mountain running streams that you can literally jump across. So the variation of where you can fish, and you haven't got to do missions and whatever, you can just go fish if you want to, but the missions and the objectives are there as well. So I love that. I think that's basically why you get this game. Overall, it's a lot of fun exploring. You've got to find all the hot spots, so that's my favourite part of theAngler. The exploring, fish where you like, that is key to why I like this game. And that's what I was looking forward to the most, to be honest. The different locations like ponds, rivers, small wild streams, absolutely amazing. I think that's my biggest catfish, so this seems to be a good location. You've got vehicles to get around in, so you've got 4x4s, you've got boats, which are very useful, so that's good. Or you can just wander around on foot, so I like that a lot. Multiplayer, I haven't tried that yet, but it's good that you can play with friends, get people on boats. Imagine you get all your mates, you get a couple of boats together, you have a little competition between you, a lot of fun. The amount of different items, so I showed you in my first video for theAngler the amount of different items you can buy from the shop, and that's a good idea how to set the shop up. You've got the apparel, so all your clothing, all your stuff you wear, you got equipment. There is a lot of equipment and there's all various different baits, lures, so the amount of different items is good for a launch game. The graphics, I actually like the graphics. I think it's a fair representation. I know some people have been saying about the water quality. In game it actually looks really nice, and I like the different varied styles of water you can get in there, from running water to waterfalls, to ponds. There's a lot of variety in there. The fish species, I love the species that's in here because a lot of them I do fish for myself or have fished for them, so I can relate to that, and I think there's a bit of something for everyone in there. Some people are like trout, rainbow trout, some are like pike fishing, some people like perch, do you know what I mean, catfish. There's a lot of popular species in there, but I'm sure you can add to that. So overall there's a lot of content in here to enjoy and just be happy about, to be honest. Look at that pike, it's tiny. But yeah, I do like all those things I've just mentioned. So let's get on to things I don't like. Now, I'm going to go over these, I'm going to do them as honest as I can say, right? But just bear in mind, this is the game at launch, yeah? So we know that the Hunter team, when they make games, they generally spend many years making their games better and better, and those that play the Hunter games already know this. If you're part of like the Hunter community, you already know roughly how it works. They generally just get better, and they run for years. So with long-term support and additions to this game, I can see it being really, really good. And once we see kind of what will happen in the future, and I've suggested they should do a roadmap early, let us know what they're going to do. long-term support. I think that will help a lot of people maybe on the fence about this, or when they don't like certain things of the game. So let's have a look. So the number one thing I've seen in the comments people do not like, and I'd like an option for this, is the strike notification when you get a bite. I think if you could just either add an option to turn that off. I think 50% of the people who don't like comments, that's literally half of them. It's about the strike notification. If you turn that off, that would be a big difference, or give the option to turn it off. Then those that don't mind it can use it, and maybe don't know about fishing. It will help them. That's why, because you got to give a little help for some people, because obviously they don't know about fishing at all, never fished in their life. Obviously if you fish before, you've got a big advantage, but if you give an option to turn that off, a lot of people will be very happy. So then you can use it on or off. So I think that's a simple solution for that, and I think we'll probably hear about that soon. The rod animations and reeling when playing fish. Now in real life, if you get a fish on, you have to try and keep the angle right of your rod, the line tight. If you let your line loose when you're in a big fight or playing a good fish, you will probably lose it. If you give it slack, the hook will pull or the fish will get off. In this, you can have your line slack for quite a while sometimes, even when your rod hooped over, and you don't lose the fish, whereas you would lose a lot of fish doing that. So I think that'd be nicer if they could tweak that some way. Also, when you're lure fishing, the rod tip, right, it just like it twitches with every movement you do of the lure. So I think it'd be nice if they could add that in at a later date. It's just a little thing, but it kind of annoys me a little bit. But I would like to see that added in. So a little rod animation for just twitching the top of the rod for when like you're reeling a lure in. It would add to the realistic sort of side. The thing is, this isn't a sim, and that's the thing. A lot of people are saying it's a simulation game. Some parts are sim, some aren't. It's Call of the Wild branded. So if you understand that, I'll explain it. You've got the Hunter Classic, you've got the Hunter Call of the Wild. The Hunter Classic is the most realistic hunting game. So that is the realistic one. Hunter Call of the Wild has parts of that, but it also has less sim sort of side as well. So it's a bit more casual than classic. So that's what this is branded with. So you understand what you're sort of getting. I think that's why they did put in the Call of the Wild brand, to do with that, and obviously to do with Call of the Wild, but just to like get the level of where it should be sitting. Trying to get that balance right, where it's either simulation or arcade, is very tricky, and the devs have got hard work with that basically. Because whatever you do, you can have some people saying it's not simulation, it is simulation. This is arcade, not arcade. Do you know what I mean? You can't win whichever way you do it, but you have got to just put your stall out and say this is what we've got basically. Now, next thing. Fish seem to bite literally every time you cast in. I think that should be more random, not as often, a lot more factors to it. But I understand why, because like I said, we've just been over this. It's a bit more fun, casual game, and they want you to have fun. But I think it should be a little bit harder, more factors into it. So they could tweak that. I don't know how easy it would be, but I would like to see that tweaked in an early patch or at a later date. Pulling out fish straight from the water. This is mentioned quite a lot in the comments. Ideally, we should have a netting animation. It would improve the game a lot. It would be a bit more realistic. And like I say, I know it might be a sort of an arcadey approach to it, but you wouldn't swing in a 10-pound fish or a 10-kilo fish. Your rod would be snapped, line would break. You just wouldn't do it. So a lot of people are mentioning that, and I do kind of agree with that. Would like to see a netting animation at some point in the future. Fish on the surface too often. A lot of people are mentioning this, how they turn in the water. Sometimes they look like they're spinning on an axis. Like I say, I think they could improve on that. It's not a big deal, but I'd like to see that worked on. Twitching, jigging, say we're like with lures. At the moment, you only need to do like, put your reel speed to level 1 and just fish constant, and you'll get a fish literally every chuck. I'd like to see the other styles factored in more, like jigging, twitching. With certain lures, for example, you have to put the movement into them in real life, so that would actually be real and be a lot more fun, I think, if you have to mix it up, use all different styles. At the moment, you can get away with just reeling in constant, which some lures, yes, on the right speed, like spinners, small spoons, just constant, you will catch fish, but you need to make use of the other styles as well, and I don't think they're really sort of working as good as they could be. You need to factor in more techniques, basically, and show them to work. And the final part I'm going to go over is the looks of the character. Now, I've been trying to get really good thumbnails. Often I get a little bit of shadow in the face of the player. That's a small one, and that's basically for me and my pictures. But obviously you want to take pictures of your like trophy fish. But the characters' faces look a bit distant and not really friendly. And I've seen some funny comments mentioned about that. But I think that could be easily worked on. And it does make a difference, because you think every time you catch a fish, when you catch that really good fish, you want to take a picture of it, and a lot of people will be saving that with software or whatever, and you've got the screen to tab out with your trophy shot, and then you've got a character that looks a bit distant. So ideally I think you could work on that. So they're the points I don't like. I'm enjoying the game regardless, and I think, like I say, the key is, when you tell us about a roadmap and long time support, it's definitely happening with this, which they have said, and I believe they will do that, and I think it will generally get better and better and better over time. I think, like I say, I'm going to give my score of what I think of now, but I'm going to give a score of what I think it could be if they do what I'm on about, fix some of those things we're on about, tweak them, make better tweaks, changes, and support it long time. But let us know what you're going to do for the future. If you get that out now, you will sway a lot of people, and they'll see what you mean and what you intend to do. And that's a really big deal. I think doing that with a roadmap early on, near launch, it will be a big deal for how people view Call of Wild Angler and what it could be. People will accept little issues or bugs. You can't help that with games. You're going to get that with every game ever made, and everyone knows that. It's just how you deal with those issues or anything you think could be made better, and that's why I think a roadmap straight away would really help the community understand what Call of Wild the Angler is going to be. While I'm rabbiting away, I've hooked an absolute monster pike. I've not had a fish do this on this setup yet, so if you're wondering why no line's coming back in, we've got a big fish here, and this could be my biggest pike yet. So back to what I score Call of Wild the Angler. The game is generally fun, relaxing, and the exploring element is the key to this game. I really do think that's the key to it. You can go from a massive pond with a boat to roaming in the mountains, fishing tiny wild streams you can jump across, or in pools under waterfalls. That's the main draw to this game, I think. Call of Wild Angler, the open world exploring wild fishing. That's the key to this game, and I think that's why I'll be always playing this. Not only that, it's nice and casual, and at the end of the night I can sit down if I want a beer, chill, play with mates, just have a lot of fun and fish. It's a good game, it really is. So I'm going to give my score out of 10 what I think it is at launch right now. I'm going to give you my score of what I think it could be with those things I mentioned tweaked, made better. So overall, right now, I'm having a lot of fun. I'd give it 7.5 out of 10. I think that's pretty generous. There's some things I don't like as well, so you can't give it 10 obviously, and I'm not going to shield the product. I'm just telling you how I honestly believe it is. It's a lot of fun. So I'm going to give it 7.5 out of 10, and with the changes I mentioned, I reckon it could be like 8.5 out of 10, which, like I say, that's a solid score, and I think that's a honest representation of how the game is. So it's worth buying. It's a good, fun game to play, and I think many people will love it. And like I say, get the roadmap out early, explain to people what you're going to do some tweaks, hot patches, add some options in for some of the, I'd say, overly arcade style things, and I think most people will be happy with the game, do you know what I mean? And I think most people would score it 7.5, 8 out of 10. So there's my honest review, 7.5 out of 10 at the moment for Call of Wild the Angler. I reckon with the works done, future long-term support, 8.5 out of 10. We've got a good solid game core base, so I think we can definitely work with it and have fun while all the changes and additions happen. So hopefully we get long-term support and lots of content to come. I'm going to try and get this pike in because it doesn't seem to be coming in. I can't up. I know people will be saying, why don't you just tighten your drag up? You can't. If I knock that drag up another notch, it's gone. And this is my biggest pike I've found up to yet, for a fact. I caught it on worm as well. I just swapped over. I was using the minnow, trying those out. We had a really nice catfish. I thought I'll try the worms because I've seen a big perch down there. I thought that is bigger than a normal perch I've seen, and I thought we might get a perch, and that pike comes straight out and grabbed it. So hopefully it's a really big one. Well, I know it's a big one because I haven't had a fish fight this hard yet on this setup. So drop in the comments what you think. Let me know. Do you think that's a fair score? What do you like the best from what you've seen? What do you like the worst from what you've seen? Your honest opinion, drop in the comments. Like I say, I actually really have enjoyed playing it, and I'm keep playing it, and hopefully, like I say, we get these little tweaks, options, updates, and I'm sure we will. But we've got a good core it can work from, and that's the actual key. You want a good core foundation. If there is little issues, it doesn't matter, because if the core is wrong, then you can't really do anything on it. But if you've got a good core, the little fixes can come in and make that better and better. And so, like I say, that's what needs to be done. And I think, like I say, we've got a really good fishing game in our hands. So there's my biggest pike yet. I'm so happy about that. I've been after a big pike since I started it. It's the main fish I wanted to get, and we've just caught one there. That's a beautiful gold pike. But yeah, put up quite a big fight. I'll show you where I am on the map. You actually start at this location. I've just explored around the shore, come to this bridge, never fished here. We had a really big catfish. We've had my biggest northern pike as well, a gold one. So very happy about that. So we've been doing a game review today for Call of Wild the Angler. Let me know what you think. What would you score it based on what you've seen? I'm having a lot of fun. I think we've got a good solid core based fishing game you can enjoy, roam around, explore, and the pluses outweigh the minuses. This is the map and where I've been fishing. So where I am now is the bridge. So we've been doing a review for Call of Wild the Angler. Comes out the 31st of August. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. Bye bye.